Just a few days in, and Labour finally in the seat of power, like kids in a sweet shop giddy with excitement, are already throwing themselves incautiously into huge policy decisions, like a big drunk fat lad dive bombing into the shallow end of a swimming pool. The Rwanda scheme scrapped, quite rightly. What a disingenuous load of old rubbish that was. It was never going to work. It was never intended to work. It was straightforwardly a contrived, despicable nonsense designed to placate and increasingly disturb British people, incredulous as to the huge numbers of illegal economic migrants pouring across the Channel every day without resistance, incredulous as to the eye-watering amounts of taxpayers' money being spent on accommodating these instant long-term benefit claimants. The Rwanda scheme was Rishi's way of pretending that he was actually addressing the issue, rather than serving the will of his globalist paymasters and allowing the destruction of our culture, heritage and national identity to continue unabated until we've been entirely subsumed into one world communism. Starmer has scrapped it, thank goodness. The only trouble is, it's cost us about 500 million quid. Sunak might just as well have spent his time in office feeding taxpayers' money into an industrial shredder. Unfortunately, however, Starmer doesn't appear to have any other plans to stop the invasion. Pretty soon there are going to be so many small boats in the Channel, it's going to look like a pound shop Henley regatta. And with refugee crusader Yvette Cooper as Home Secretary, we're well and truly finished. If Great Britain wasn't a dumping ground for all the world's undesirables before, it is now. Britain is now essentially one big recycling scheme for all the human detritus the rest of the world doesn't want. And at the same time, as we welcome hundreds of thousands of economic migrants from failed states into our cities, Starmer plans to release up to 40,000 inmates from British prisons before they've even served half of their sentence, just to free up some prison space. But don't worry, he's not releasing perpetrators of violent or sexual crime, just the criminals who burgled your house, stole your identity, or sold Class A drugs to crackheads. Don't worry everybody, it's all going to be fine, because Labour have pledged to build 1.5 million new homes to accommodate our ever-expanding population, knocked up quickly and cheaply, probably with rack concrete, ugly and pokey, all squashed together, liable to fall apart after 5 years, requiring constant repair, all built on greenbelt land in the middle of nowhere, with no plans to build any schools or GP surgeries, no plans to implement upgraded sewerage or transport infrastructure to cope with these large new communities. Just dystopian urban sprawl, encroaching on the few pleasant parts of this country that remain unspoilt. Still, at least we're not France, where a ragbag, chaotic radical left-wing coalition have just scraped a questionable electoral victory, meaning our Gallic neighbours are about to inhabit even more of an abominable hell pit than they'd already been festering in. So if you were thinking about breaking the bank and blowing a couple of grand minimum on a 2-day family break at Euro Disney in Paris, best to save your money instead, because under this impending catastrophe of a Labour government, you're going to need every penny you've got just to keep a roof over your head and food in your fridge. Adopt the brace position. The economy's about to crash. Only 40% of people who watch my videos are channel subscribers, so please do take a moment to click that subscribe button. Upcoming tour dates in Southampton, Billericay and Swindon, ticket links beneath this video. Please do support me on Patreon for exclusive content. Thanks as always for watching.